Now, so we have seen in the last class, the previous videos, the how to find out the input impedance at any distance from the load end. So we take the ratio of voltage and current and we get the expression in this form. So this is actually, if I consider the total length of the line as L, so the total length of the line, if we consider as L, and this is my ZL, then if the total length is L, so at a distance L, if I find out input impedance, then it becomes impedance at the source end. But it need not be total length L. We can do at any distance S from the load end. Okay, at any distance S from the load end we can find out. So this is, say I am taking any distance S, so we can get this input impedance. Now this can be rearranged. Okay, sine by cos we can make tan, so that way we can rearrange. So that I have written in separate note. So like this, the input impedance ZS of the line is given by, at any distance input impedance we got this expression. Now this cos sine we can rearrange and write it in tan form. So this is, you can just write like this also. It is Zin. Zin is the input impedance and we get the expression in this form. From this we can easily come to this. You have to just divide by cos hyperbolic gamma s. Now let us consider some special case. Like we know that ZR is any load. If I consider a line to be, say, open or short circuited, suppose the line is open circuited, so in that case what happens? ZR is infinite. Open circuit line means ZR is infinite. And another special case, if I consider the line to be short circuited. If the line is short circuited, then ZR is 0. Okay, we are making ZR 0. So these two special cases, if we consider, then let's see what expression we arrive at. So when ZR is 0, it is a short circuited load. So this is the general expression. So in this general expression, if I put ZR as 0, then we get like this. This part will become 0. This term will go away. Then Z0 will cancel. So I will get Z0 tan hyperbolic gamma s for short circuited load. And another special case, if I consider ZR to be infinite, that is open circuited load, then it becomes, for open circuited load, what we generally do is, in this expression that we are having, ZR is infinite means very high. So if ZR is very high, we can neglect this term. Similarly, in the denominator, ZR term is very high, so we can neglect this term. So we are getting ZR by ZR tan hyperbolic gamma s. ZR will cancel, 1 by tan will become cot. Okay, so it will become Z0 cot hyperbolic gamma s. So this is open circuited input impedance and short circuited input impedance. Now if I multiply both, okay, so tan hyperbolic gamma s into cot hyperbolic gamma s is 1. So it becomes Z0 square. So in this expression comes. Okay, we get problems from here. So this is again an important relation. Now let us take how we will work out a problem. So suppose the problem is given as that we are having a distortionless line, and this distortionless line, it is given that Z0 is 60 ohm. Characteristic impedance of the line is 60 ohm. Alpha is given as 20 millinepher per meter. Velocity of light, velocity in transmission line is 0.6 into c. C is the speed of light in vacuum. You have to find out the parameters RL, GC and lambda at 100 megahertz. So how we will do this problem? You see, Z0 is given 60 ohm. For a distortionless line, characteristic impedance is generally real. So Z0 is 60 ohm. Alpha is given, U is this. Now see, condition for Z0 line is R by L. So we have to see that now this characteristic impedance of a distortionless line can be expressed in this form, root over L by C or root over R by G. Actually, how this is coming, for that there is a separate PDF. So this characteristic impedance of a distortionless line. So we know that the characteristic impedance can be written as root over Z by Y. Root over Z by Y. Now Z is R plus J omega L and Y is G plus J omega C. Now if we take L common, it becomes R by L plus J omega, and in the denominator we take C common, so it becomes G by C plus J omega. Now for a distortionless line, we already know that R by L equals to G by C. R by L equal to G by C. So here you see this R by L, this R by L is equal to G by C. So this full term will cancel out. So we will get root L by C. Now L by C we can write as R by G. So you see, characteristic impedance is coming real only. There is no imaginary part. So we can say that characteristic impedance of distortionless line is real. Now, so once we got this expression, now we can come back to the problem. So we see Z0 as R or R0, because Z0 is real. We can write root over L by C, and beta will come as omega root LC. This we have also seen for a distortionless line. If we put this condition, then omega comes out to be root of LC. So beta, if we put that condition, beta will come as omega root LC and alpha will come root of RG. So these values you put. So Z0 equal to root of R by G. So if we take square, Z0 square equal to R by G, and alpha is root RG, so alpha square RG. So if you do 1 into 2, these two equations if you multiply, you will get R square. So Z0 into alpha equal to R, or R equals to Z0 into alpha. Then you put the values of Z0 and alpha and you get this. Okay. Now beta is omega by U, we have seen already. So omega is 2 pi f and U is 0.6 c. So from this we get beta is 3.49 radians per meter. Now velocity is omega by beta 1 by root LC. So U square becomes 1 by LC. Z0 square is L by C. These two if we multiply, we get U square Z square equals to 1 by C square. So U into Z0 1 by C. C is the capacitance. So C will come 1 by U Z0 and we get this expression for C. And lambda is U by F. So by putting the values we get 1.8 meter.